A human prisoner sits silently aboard an alien warship, her calm gaze unnerving the High Commander. After 42 days, she speaks, revealing a chilling truth. She's no captive, she's a weapon. Earth's secret plan unfolds, threatening to topple an empire. What's her next move? Keep reading to find out. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more captivating videos, and to inspire even more amazing content. The observation deck of the Eclipse Fang was eerily silent, save for the low hum of power cores thrumming beneath the floor, a sound Zethra had normally found comforting. Not today. His 8 serrated limbs shifted with twitchy impatience as he stared at the containment pod, suspended in magnetic stasis. Inside, the human woman didn't move. 18 Klyvar cycles, precisely 40 to Earth days, and she hadn't spoken a word. No panic, no defiance, just stillness. High Commander Zethra leaned forward, multifaceted eyes narrowing. Is she broken? He hissed. Science Officer Vix, standing rigidly behind, flinched. Negative, Commander. Subject exhibits no signs of cognitive degradation. She eats at the same time daily. 0900 ship standard, sleeps exactly 5 hours, no more, no less. She completes a 92-point calisthenics routine inside the pod. She doesn't break protocol. Zethra's mandibles clicked. A soldier. Vix hesitated. Her records are redacted. Earth designation, Kalia Thorn. Age 35. Captured in Siberia. Coordinates 60 to .3 N, 90 to .1 E. She was extracted from a subterranean vault containing anomalous quantum tech. Zethra's gaze flicked to the woman. Kalia's black hair was unbound, a stark contrast against the crimson of her prison suit. She sat cross-legged, hands on knees, eyes open, watching him. Not in fear. An assessment. Open the internal feed, Zethra ordered. As the screen blinked alive, biometric overlays flickered, then glitched. Neural patterns unreadable. Pulse, 60 to BPM. Brainwave activity, erratic, or encrypted. We've run 17 scans, Vix said, voice barely a whisper. She masks her neural activity. We believe she's using resonance phase cloaking. Tech beyond anything in our catalogs. Zethra's claws curled. Humans do not possess resonance architecture. Kalia blinked once, slowly, and smiled. For the first time in Zethra's career, a chill prickled down his exoskeleton. Something was very, very wrong. Earth hadn't surrendered a prisoner. They had sent a message. The cell door hissed open with a hydraulic groan. Zethra entered, flanked by 2 armored sentries wielding iron halberds charged to 60,000 volts. The woman didn't flinch. She sat exactly as before, cross-legged, spine straight, hands open, relaxed. The containment field shimmered faintly around her, calibrated to suppress psi output up to Class 7. Yet Zethra felt watched, not by her eyes, but by something behind them. He stepped forward, mandibles twitching. Do you understand me, human? Silence. You are aboard the Eclipse Fang, flagship of the Klyvar Collective. Your Earth has fallen. Speak. She looked up, and then she spoke. Your harmonics are off by 0.17 dHz, she said, her voice calm, unhurried. It's destabilizing your reactor core's feedback loop. You have 18 hours before it begins cascading. Zethra froze. What are you talking about? He growled. Kalia tilted her head. Your containment lattice isn't isolated. I've already sensed to your low-band command frequencies. Your firewalls aren't encryption. They're delay mechanisms. Inefficient ones. Vix's voice crackled over the comm. Commander, we're seeing fluctuations in Deck 12 power arrays. Reactor diagnostics showing spike anomalies. She's right. Zethra's breath hissed through his spiracles. How, he demanded. She tapped her temple with 2 fingers. Quantum resonant implants. Subdermal, undetectable by your archaic scans. Custom tuned to Klyvar's signature frequencies. You think you took me, but you only opened the door. Zethra's claws flexed involuntarily. What are you? Kalia smiled faintly. The first piece. A pause. Then, checkmate's not 1 move. It's 20. The containment field pulsed. Not in alarm, but in sync. Her vitals were integrating with the ship's systems, piggybacking on Klyvar data protocols like a ghost slipping through walls. Zethra stared. She wasn't just a prisoner. She was already inside. The lights dimmed for exactly 2.4 seconds. It was subtle, barely a flicker, but on a warship powered by twin dark matter cores. Any deviation was unacceptable. Zethra's internal HUD flared crimson. Alarms bloomed across the neural link interface. Deck 12, power flux increasing, shouted Vix from the command pit. 3 navigation nodes just reset, simultaneously. Zethra spun toward the cell. Kalia hadn't moved, still seated, still calm. Lock her neural output, Zethra barked. But it was too late. The flicker turned to a surge. 12 Klyvar destroyers, docked in the Eclipse Fang's outer ring, suddenly broadcast distress pings. Engines offline, stabilizers frozen, life support entering redundancy protocols. She's transmitting a quantum ripple, Vix said, horror dawning. Through the resonance harmonics, riding the intership telemetry as a carrier wave. Zethra lunged toward the containment field, slamming a clawed hand against the transparent barrier. And now, Kalia finally looked up. Her pupils shimmered, not black, not gray, but refracted light like compressed galaxies. "You're still trying to fix the fire," she said softly, without realizing the match is already lit. Zethra's claws sparked. "I'll flay you apart." Kalia stood. Her prison suit shimmered faintly. Iron threads burned away as the quantum implants activated fully. Thin, fractal-like circuit lines bloomed across her skin. "You opened the gate," she said. "You brought me aboard. That gave me access to this, your floating empire of arrogance." The Eclipse Fang jolted. Artificial gravity to stabilize by 1.6 gigaseconds. Bulkheads groaned. The stars outside shimmered. Then warped as navigation fields collapsed across 23 infantry of the fleet. "Stop this," Zethra roared. Kalia's voice cut clean through the chaos. "You don't get to tell me when this ends." Then the screen lit up behind her, displaying a rotating sigil, Earth's Iron Vanguard. Transmission active. Earth was watching. In the war chamber of the Eclipse Fang, Zethra's claws clattered furiously across the control interface. "Trace that signal. Block it. Shut her down." But the screen refused to obey. Earth's emblem, twin orbiting helixes intersecting a burning sun, rotated silently, projected from inside the ship's own systems. "She's overridden our uplink protocols," Vix muttered, sweat pooling beneath his thorax plates. "There's no external breach. The transmission is being generated internally, from her neural link." "That shouldn't be possible," Zethra growled. "It shouldn't be. Yet it is." He slammed a fist into the command console, pulling up the suppressed human intelligence archive. Classified Level 9. The file blinked open. Shadow Helix Initiative. "Black Cell," Vix whispered. "Earth's off-grid intelligence cores. No insignia. No known command structure. No confirmed agents." Kalia's profile emerged. Kalia Thorn, Operative 013, Clearance Omega 7. Agent Recruitment, 17. Confirmed Missions, 53. Successful Outcomes, 53. Kill Ratio, 0.03 infantrum. Preferred Strategy, Infiltrate, Disable, Destabilize. Zethra felt something unfamiliar press into his chest. Kavaitai, unease. She wasn't a soldier. She was a ghost in the system. Back in the cell, Kalia placed a hand on the wall. The lights flickered again, brief, intentional. "You keep looking at what I am," she said through the comms, "instead of why I'm here." Zethra's voice was low. "Then say it." "I was embedded in that Siberian bunker for 11 years, building harmonics, sensing implants, waiting for you. The minute you breached our vault, we won." Her eyes met the ship's surveillance lens. "I am the vault." Every Klyvar comms officer froze. Across the fleet, systems pulsed with a faint subroutine labeled Omega Resonance. Kalia whispered one word into the mic: "Synchronize." And 51 Klyvar ships blinked into protocol lock. One operative, one signal, half a fleet neutralized. The command bridge was chaos. Red glyphs flooded every screen, Klyvar warships blinking out of formation. locked in non-responsive stasis. 51 ships, offline, shields down, weapons cold. I-cores locked in recursive loops triggered by Kalia's whispered command. Synchronize. She's hijacked our fleet from a prison cell. Vix choked. Her implants are writing directly into our command lattice. Zethra roared, shut her down. Hard reset the ship's neural grid. We can't, a technician snapped. She bypassed the grid entirely. She's operating through the resonance scaffolding, the very framework of our FTL telemetry. Zethra stormed back to the containment pod. Inside, Kalia stood. The red of her prison suit had faded to black, scorched away in fractal seams revealing the silver glow of subdermal quantum circuitry. She was smiling. You still think I'm here to escape, she said, tone almost kind. I'm not. I am the operation. Zethra slammed his claws against the containment field. You will reverse it, now. I can't, Kalia said simply. This wasn't a virus. It was a handoff. My consciousness is already seeded into the fleet's echonet. You're not talking to a prisoner. She stepped closer, the containment shimmer warping with her movement. You're talking to the failsafe. Why'd Zethra rasped? Because you broke the treaty first. Your scout pods entered Martian orbit 19 days ago. We watched. We calculated. We predicted this exact outcome with 97.3% certainty. Zethra staggered back. You didn't capture me, Commander, Kalia said, voice low and even. You triggered me. Above them, the ship's internal systems shifted. Ventilation slowed. Lighting stabilized. Then came the hum. A resonance pulse, Earth's signature frequency, activated inside the Eclipse Fang. Not a weapon, a signal. And from deep space, Earth answered. Zethra's patience finally cracked. Ready the orbital cannons, he barked. Target Earth's population centers, New York, Sao Paulo, Tokyo. If she wants a war, we'll show them annihilation. Across the bridge, tactical crews scrambled. Coordinates uploaded. Trajectory plots calculated. 3 antimatter warheads, each with a yield of 40 teratons, spun into launch-ready position. Inside the cell, Kalia's gaze sharpened. You fire those, she said evenly, and your fleet melts before impact. Zethra sneered. You're bluffing. Kalia lifted her left hand. A small flicker of light danced across her palm, the glimmer of a dormant pulse. That Siberian vault you stormed, she continued. It wasn't a weapons depot. It was a resonance relay node, tied into Earth's quantum grid. She let the words hang in the air. A grid, she added. That's currently sensed to every Klyvar command ship through the sublayer you so kindly dragged me into. Zethra hesitated. You planted a bomb. Kalia smiled. No teeth. Just certainty. Not just a bomb. A broadcasted chain reaction. You detonate anything. I trigger a cascade. Your entire fleet folds inward. No explosions. Just silence. The room chilled. Commander, Vix whispered, long-range telemetry confirms. There's a faint resonance loop embedded in our relay network. We can't isolate it. Zethra's claws curled, trembling. You would doom us all. I don't need to, Kalia replied. You did that when you crossed Mars' orbital line without authorization. The rest is just math. The orbital cannons powered down, offline by Zethra's order. Slowly, the red targeting glyphs faded from the bridge. Kalia's voice dropped to a whisper. This isn't mutually assured destruction. It's pre-calculated deterrence. And you just realized, Earth doesn't bluff. She sat back down, cross-legged again, as if nothing had happened. The silence that followed was worse than any threat. The bridge lights dimmed again, but this time, it wasn't Kalia. Commander, Vix said, voice trembling, we've intercepted a cloaked relay from the outer ring. Origin unknown, origin scrambled. Zethra's mandibles tightened. Decrypt it. The message decoded midair, projected in imperial glyphs. Purge order initiated. Failure is weakness. Protocol Delta V. A second later, sensor data streamed in. 12 Dread-class ships. Energy signatures massed until now had emerged near Jupiter's shadow. No IFF tags. No diplomatic beacons. Kalia spoke before Zethra could. Empress Zyra doesn't reward failure. She sent you here to conquer or be erased. Looks like you've served your purpose. Zethra's chest cavity compressed. Those ships are Klyvar. Our own fleet. They're not here for Earth, Kalia said coldly. They're here for you. A tactical officer gasped. Commander, they're charging particle lances, targeting us. Zethra turned slowly to face Kalia. You knew. I predicted, she replied. 92.1% probability your failure would trigger Delta V. That's why we didn't try to stop you. We let the Empire devour its own. Kalia approached the transparent barrier between them. Her voice dropped to a whisper. But you don't have to die for her pride. Zethra stared. Join us, she said. I can stabilize your ships, mask your ID from the Purge fleet, and reroute your command authority to Earth's diplomatic channel. But you have to make a choice. Zethra's claws flexed. The image of Zyra's symbol burned on the screen, absolute, merciless. He turned to the bridge. Stand down from internal lockdown. Cancel all offensive postures. Kalia stepped back. Wise move, she said. Mars will welcome you. Zethra blinked. Mars, she smiled. Humanity's red fortress. Your fleet's new sanctuary. Outside, Earth's signature resonance pulsed. This time, not as a threat, but as an invitation. The Eclipse Fang descended through Earth's upper stratosphere at Mach 4.2, wrapped in a resonance field generated by Kalia's implants and mirrored through Zethra's fleet. No alarms, no missile locks. Earth's defense grid recognized the signal and stood down. Zethra stood on the forward deck, cloaked in human atmosphere armor, borrowed from Earth's quantum lab archives, transmitted during the neural handshake. He'd never breathe a planet's air without an atmospheric tank. Now, he would. Below, the United Terran Assembly had assembled. 15 high-ranking envoys, 3 from the Iron Vanguard, and 1 from Shadow Helix. Her face hidden, voice encrypted. They waited outside the newly erected Mars Accord Pavi Lion in the Newark Neutral Zone. The dreadnought hovered silently as a glide drone descended with Kalia and Zethra aboard. You speak first, she said. Zethra hesitated. They'll never trust me. Kalia's eyes gleamed. They don't have to. They'll trust the math. The drone touched down. The crowd parted. Zethra stepped forward. The envoys watched him with silent judgment. Kalia stood beside him, voice amplified. High Commander Zethra comes not as a prisoner, but as a partner. The Klyvar Empire turned its blade inward. He chose to break that cycle. She projected live data feeds, Zyra's fleet collapsing under Saturn's resonance wall. A combined Klyvar human defense sequence executed with 0.003 from Tremere. The Iron Vanguard general nodded slowly. We expected a war, he said. You delivered a paradox. Zethra spoke at last. Your species terrified us, not because of your weapons, but because you never used them. Kalia smiled. That's our legacy. Above them, the sky shimmered as Mars' red moon rose, projected from orbit, symbolizing the new accord. Humanity hadn't won by dominance. It had won by precision, patience, and one woman who'd never blinked. Mars had changed. Once a red wasteland, it now pulsed with organized life and industrial precision. The Ars Nexus, humanity's interplanetary command citadel, rose from the veils marinerous like a blade of glass and steel, 132 levels deep, 7 kilometers across, shielded by a planetary resonance dome co-developed with Klyvar defectors. Zethra stepped onto the landing platform in stunned silence. His species had once dismissed Mars as a dead sibling of Earth. Now, it was a fortress, bristling with adaptive turrets, quantum comrades, and atmospheric stabilizers operating at 99.8 from planetary efficiency. Beside him, Kalia moved like she belonged. Because she did. This is where we test the impossible, she said. Hybrid fusion, FTL waveform translation, and consensus. They entered the Nexus. Inside, dozens of human engineers and Klyvar specialists worked side by side, sharing schematics, arguing over calibration vectors, laughing. A year ago, such interaction was fantasy. Now, it was codebase. Why help us? Zethra asked quietly. After everything, Kalia glanced at a console showing Earth and Mars locked in a quantum sync pulse. Exact phase match to 0.00003 seconds. Because your empire wanted obedience, she replied. We want evolution. Big difference. In the chamber's center, a prototype ship rested on magnetic scaffolds, sleek, angular, powered by dual-core quantum drives that flicker between states. The Unity Mark I, Kalia said, first of its kind, built from both our blueprints. It doesn't just move through space. It predicts space. Zethra stared. This wasn't a weapon. It was a leap forward. Above them, a massive viewport revealed the stars, no longer enemies, but destinations. Kalia turned to him, ready to leave fear behind. Zethra nodded slowly. Then let's go rewrite the galaxy, she said, and for the first time, they walked forward together. The stars no longer whispered war, they echoed progress. From the edge of the Sol system, automated relays transmitted across 9 sectors, updating every recognized galactic registry. The Klyvar Human Accord has been ratified. Hostilities ceased. Joint development underway. Inside the Unity Mark I, now entering Phase 1 test flight, Kalia Thorn sat in the command chair. No restraints, no protocols. Her neural implants interface directly with the ship's quantum core, operating at 4.7 qubits per nanosecond, adapting to spatial fluctuations in real time. Zethra stood beside her, watching the interface shimmer between Klyvar script and Terran glyphs. Do you believe this holds? He asked. Kalia didn't look away from the stars. It doesn't need belief, she replied. It needs consistency. Behind them, Mars faded into the black, a red echo of humanity's struggle, now fortified as a launch point, not a last stand. The Unity's thrusters engaged. They didn't ignite, they phased. Micropulses of spatial manipulation, bending distance instead of burning fuel. In 0.3 for seconds, the ship reached lunar orbit. They weren't moving through space. They were redefining its parameters. Back on Earth, Kalia's name began to spread, not as a warrior, not even as a hero, but as a signal that one calm voice, one embedded plan, one unflinching soul had shifted the course of galactic civilization. The Terran Archives logged her mission under a new code name, Project Unshaken, and her final message to the unified fleets was brief. Peace isn't given. It's built with preparation, precision, and patience. Humanity doesn't kneel, not because we refuse war, but because we've outgrown it. Across the stars, fleets recalibrated, empires redrew maps, and as the Unity pierced the void, Kalia Thorn smiled, not in triumph, but in trust, because Earth had spoken, and this time, the galaxy listened.